Hello, I'm Bruce Zimmerman, host of the Open Line Garden Show, and this is the podcast for this week. Now, a book called Teaming with Microbes made my top 10 books of all time a number of years ago now. Jeff Lowenfeld and Wayne Lewis wrote it. They won prizes for their book. In my opinion, any gardener, any student of horticulture should read the original book. Well, great. So how did I rate this book? I rated this book 6 stars out of 5. That's how good it is. Now, it's easy to read. It's easy to understand. They take their time to explain. They do not get into the weird and off-track science. They try and keep it practical and useful. Great. This is exactly what it is and you need. Whether you're a regular gardener, an organic gardener, or any kind of gardener, you have to understand the soil in order to be successful with the plants. Otherwise, you're growing weeds and you'll always be successful. Now, what they have done is they have done an update to Teaming with Microbes, and this book, published by Timber Press, could just come out. It's been around a little while, but what I like about this one is that they've gone and they've updated it. This is the revised edition. So if you got the old one, okay, it's nice, it's good. But this book is that book plus the newest, latest in soils in a usable, understandable form. Now, is that good? Yes. Is it worthwhile buying the new book? Yes. Okay? These are 2 books that go into my library no matter what. Okay? Is this book better than the old book? Yeah. Would I give up the old book? Yes, because I got the new book. But not till I give up not giving up the old book till I got the new book. Okay? There is only 2 major changes in the book, okay? They're talking about the more recent discoveries, or shall I say, improvements in our knowledge. And what they do is they talk about, first of all, the mycorrhiza, the beneficial associations of fungi that form a symbiotic relationship with green leaf plants. This means that they both benefit from each other. Believe it or not, the mycorrhiza fungi help feed the plant. The plant help feeds the fungi. And as long as you're not cultivating and breaking up the soil and destroying the fungal mass, then these plants will work together to make you look good as a better gardener. Oh, goody. Well, I can do that one. And the nice thing is, you just encourage the mycorrhiza. That's it. And you can buy mycorrhiza. You can add it to the soil, and that will encourage it. And of course, if you have and manage your soil correctly, it will stay and it will continue to give you bigger, better plants. And if that's talking about things like food, quite likely you're going to find you're getting bigger, better food. Okay? The other one is probably one of the neatest things I've heard about in soils lately, and that is archaea. Now, archaea was once thought to be a bacteria. It is related to bacteria. It is a single-cell organism, and what it does is it actually is in the soil, and as a part of the food web, or the soil food web, it is key. In other words, this is one of those that takes the nitrogen from the air, okay, right out of the air, okay, and makes it available in a usable form for the plant. Now, That's what's known as free fertilizer. Okay? Nitrogen, green growth, etc. This is what makes the soil pull the nitrogen out of the air and feed the plant. So they've gone and they've put a chapter in here, chapter 4. Even if you don't read the whole book and you've read the old book, read chapter 4 and read the chapter on mycorrhiza. But chapter 4 on archaea is important. It is critical. It's critical for all of us because healthy growing plants, pulling nitrogen out of the air, utilizing it, makes them better. The greater the leaf area, the greater the transformation of oxygen and CO2, etc., in the food cycle. And of course, we need the oxygen, okay? And the plant needs the CO2, but it needs the nitrogen too. So it's key that you go and you do encourage this. Right there, those two make this book worth the price. Again, I will rate this book 6 stars out of 5, and it is a book that you really do need to add to your collection. This is a quiet evening by the fire reading book. It'll help you to understand soils and what you have not been doing and what is necessary. You know how we say top dress and aerate your lawn and that? Do we tell you how to improve clay soil? Yeah, add organic matter, right? Don't add more soil to soil. You add organic matter. Guess what encourages all of this? Organic matter. So we have been telling you all the right things, and it's been working. We just haven't told you how and why. And in some cases, we didn't even know. So, Teaming with Microbes by Jeff Lowenfeld and Wayne Lewis. They say it's the organic gardener's guide to the soil food web, but in my opinion, this is a book for every student of horticulture. It is the book for every gardener who truly wants to be successful. And I think that this, an understanding of the soil by reading this book, will make us all better gardeners. Buy it, okay? It's very, very key and critical. Now, there's another book which I wish I had a number of years ago when I was doing the landscape around my house. And because I like plants that are a little more unusual. Surprise, surprise. So I like hardy cactus, right? And I like unusual yuccas. Well, when I get them, they're unusual. When I start finding them in every Tom, Dick, and Harry's corner store, well, then I get a little bored with them, I have to admit. So unless they're doing really well, I don't care if they die, but I like cactus and succulents, okay? But I like to put them in my garden forever. None of this planned for the summer. So, and I'm sick and tired of putting in sedums and hens and chicks, okay? But I have put in hardy opuntias. I have yuccas. I've got a couple kinds of yuccas which I am thrilled with. I like enough. And this book explains to you and to me our shortcomings on actually putting cactus and succulents into the garden. It is called Cactus and Succulents for Cold Climates. Yeah, 274 outstanding species for cold climates. It's by Leo J. Chance. It's from Timber Press. And trust me when I say this book is so well done from a point of view in the fact that the man who did this and wrote this lives in Colorado. And they get cold there. And he's tested these. He's growing these. He's tried these. He'll give you the little tips on growing this particular variety. And, oh, look, forget it. Put this one only in a scree garden. If you don't know what a scree garden is, look it up, study it. But if it doesn't tolerate wet clay soils or spring wet soils, then he'll tell you that too. There is a section in here on yuccas. And he'll go through all the yuccas that you know, plus a few others. He has my Color Guard yucca, which I absolutely love, okay? But he also has my unusual yucca baccata. Now, to give you the depth and understanding of how good this man is with and gives you this information in the book, nobody ever told me why the plant that I saw in the container at the garden show does not look anything like the one that I bought. And yet they're the same plant. Why? Because when you grow this particular yucca in a container, the leaves curl and twist into very weird shapes and become this funny little mound of twisted, almost gray-green leaves. Okay? You get it into the ground, the leaves all straighten up. They go from these little twisted, rounded, curly-Q type leaves to broad, fat, slightly rolled, and sharper than sharp at the tips. And they're a bluey green. If you don't get them into enough sun, they actually are a little more green than blue. He explains all that. He explains that it doesn't like it doesn't like wet feet. It explains that with age it'll get a small trunk. Guess what? He's describing my plant. I've had my plant for over 20 years, and it's been moved a few times. The nice thing about yucca baccata does not sucker badly. Doesn't come up everywhere, okay? My Color Guard does. I've been transplanting my Color Guard around my garden. And all the others. He'll do yucca glauca. He'll do all the other kinds, gold sword, etc., the variegated ones, and tell you what they need and where, as well as all the other great gardens and succulents. You want an opuntia and a hardy cactus that doesn't lay flat? It actually stands up like a cactus like you'd like? They're in here, okay? And are they hardy? Yeah, they're hardy. He also does some plants that are recommended for xeriscaping and to mix in your garden with the cactus and succulents. In other words, they'll tolerate the dryness, the heat, the sun, so that you can combine them in with your other plants. So this is definitely a book. It's a 5 out of 5 book. It's by Leo J. Chance, Cactus and Succulents for Cold Climates, 274 Outstanding Species for Challenging Conditions. And it's from Timber Press. A book is definitely in my library, okay? And no, my daughters cannot steal it, okay? I'm Bruce Zimmerman. This is the Open Line Garden Show podcast for this week.